Ladies and gentlemen, in the eve of the Yom Kippur, we have the real estate agent Sarah here with us. As you can see, your host MC Fodor will ask her some questions how to buy real estate. Let's find out who Sarah is and what do you do and what's your credibility there.
Okay, I'm Sarah Golan. I work with the Sirhan team at Nest Seekers, and I work out of the Brooklyn office in Bed-Stuy.
Is that your first real estate assignment, or you worked
No, it's not. As a matter of fact, I've been in real estate. I actually started in real estate when I was 19 at a development company in Queens, New York. And from there, I've also worked in the mortgage business for 6 years and got married. And my husband, who's a broker, also for the past 20 years, we opened an office together. And we've worked in Queens, we've worked in Long Island.
You need to be sales oriented. You need to
no, not necessarily sales oriented. You have to be service oriented. You have to
service. They work in the stores. Like
no,
service,
but it's a different kind of service that you provide. What we're giving people, we're giving them knowledge about the market. We're showing them the right properties. We're building relationships, and we're trying to get them the best deal on properties that they're looking for.
What justifies a great deal? Whether the price, how do you, or the location, let's say new listing come out, right? Mm-hmm. How do we know it's a great deal or this deal will be forever?
Well, you have to know the market. You have to know what
I don't know the market.
The agent has to know the market and know what's a good deal.
But how do I know if the agent knows anything? I'm wealthy, right? I have plenty of money. Mm-hmm. So I always buy real estate. I always consider look into this. My question to you is, how do I know are you any good? Do I check that you wear expensive jewelry, or do I check how many deals you close? Do I go for the rookie who will put a lot of time into my work, or I go for someone who is experienced? How do I just what do I know?
Well, first of all, you do the research on the agent that you're working with. You check, their profile.
I'm buying the property, not the agent.
You're buying the property, but it's who's helping you to buy this property. Is this the good deal? Getting back to the good deal about the house, you have to check. Go visit the property, see the condition of it, see if it's priced.
But I'm not into this. I like to make money, lots of money. So I don't have time for that. Like I can look into this. Each property looks to me pretty much the same.
Then your agent will advise. Your agent. If you're buying numbers, your agent will advise you. What if it's a rental property? What are the rents going for? How much money you have to put in to renovate that property?
How do we validate those questions? The agents say it's a great deal. How do I make sure it's a great deal? How do I ask another agent? Do I ask my lawyer? Do I ask my wife? Do I, how do I make sure those numbers are legit?
You look at what the other properties are selling for on the market, and you compare. What the house a couple of blocks away sold for, what the appraised value is.
But the market changes all the time. The new family moves on the block, the price goes up. Maybe the Trump's out of the office, the market is going the other direction. We don't know what's the future holds, right?
Nobody's looking at a crystal ball for real estate, but you are looking at where the market, where it's moving. You look at emerging neighborhoods like East New York, which we were selling last year at $500,000. This year I'm selling the same house for $850,000. You see the value, the equity that's in the property.
How do you create that feel of a crystal ball that you know the answers? Why people trust you?
It's the experience also that I have. I'm also an investor. I buy properties, I renovate them, I sell them back. And I look at it, when I'm looking at an investment property for a buyer, I look at it as though I'm buying this and how much money I'm going to make on it. Right. So I think if you have that experience, you're able to guide your buyers because of having that experience.
So as a fellow investor,
I'm able to advise them.
Do you have any funny story for the viewers about real estate? by any chance?
Funny stories. I mean, you have clients that are so picky and they'll come and they'll ask for the weirdest thing. Like I had one client when we were selling Bushwick houses with still having carpeting. A client walks in with like a limo and an entourage and they want, oh, no. I want radiant floors in the bathroom, kitchens, and the living rooms. And I want fancy walls. And they come with crazy expectations. And it's like, no. This is what you're buying. My developer is not going to make those kind of changes for you. So when they come up with crazy things and you try to fit it into their budget, it gets kind of ridiculous at times.
Is there a sad story for us? Maybe.
Yes. So as I mentioned, we do buy properties, and my husband and I, we were working with a buyer on an estate sale, and she got very sick. During the process, the woman got cancer, and she literally depended on us she had no family member. It was such a heartbreaking story. It was an elderly woman and she had no one. So my husband would go to the hospital, take her medicine, and
wow.
She would be the one that she would reach out to him and reach out to me. And then we learned that she passed away. And we're still in process, like she had him, in charge of the estate, but it was just a sad thing that we couldn't close the deal when she was still alive.
You think about the future, like something that's tangible that you can sell. It's a big ticket item versus like life that
Of course.
today we have it, tomorrow is not. So on the eve of the Yom Kippur, happy.
Thank you.
You're gonna.
I'm gonna be fasting. My table is set, and yeah, I'm looking forward to spending the weekend with the family and just praying and going to the synagogue. And yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, this beautiful lady next to me is actually a model, Tanya.
Hi,
and we will find out a little bit what it is to be a model, how you become one. As you can see, Mr. Great is off today, so I'm the photographer. My name is MC Photo.
Thank you for having me, MC Photo.
So that's some of the equipment that we have here.
Okay.
Why do you become a model?
Well, I want to give a little story, a little background of what occurred to me when I was about 20 years old. I was actually in business school, and they had asked me to be a part of their magazine. To take a front cover page of the magazine as well as a few shots inside. So that was actually my first experience when I was about 20 years old.
So you started as on the cover model.
Yeah.
Wow.
And not even having a clue of the amount of work that was involved.
A lot of people spend a lot of lifetime trying to get on the cover, and you started right from the cover.
And was asked. And so this is how my journey is going to kind of I'm going to follow through with that, because the experiences that I've had as being a model even now has been where I'm kind of in a sense just led. Like I don't particularly go after anything. Like it pretty much comes to me. And I think it comes to me in a sense of because it's kind of like in me, in a sense to want it. Can I elaborate
because
a little bit more?
You just have the beauty, or you have the luck. Why it's come to you?
I'm going to go on a little bit different.
Well, you set up the things so you advertise. How do you make it come to you?
I think it's more, well, no, not particularly, because not even in the case with the school, because I didn't ask them, not at all. It was a matter of them asking and me just saying yes. And so even the opportunities that's been coming to me, the past couple of years has been the same thing. Being in a school at that particular time, there was those that was basically on the editorial committee, all of those things who were put into magazines together.
They saw that you have the right facial bone structure, you have the right looks, and they just look for you.
Exactly.
But 20 years from now, things might look a little bit different. What do you think the future for modeling will look like?
Well, I hope that in the future that it would be more acceptable for everyone to be a part of it and not have these requirements that they have that are so strict right now. Whereas I consider myself to be in a class of petite models, which goes from like size 4'11" to roughly about 5'9", 5'5", 5'6", and right now to be a supermodel, you need to be at least 5'8", 5'9", to consider that. So I would hope that they would open it up a little bit wider, be a little more acceptable.
You need to have the time. You have to have the looks. Someone making you. It's not. You have to way of taking care of you. It's not that easy to be a model. It's not for everybody. Like you can be a model in your bathroom in your home with your own cell phone, but when we talk about millions of views and we talk about like promoting a major products, model who get paid, who makes the difference. So let's say I take a picture of that camera with you, I'll sell maybe 100 of those. I'll take a picture with this camera without you, I'll sell maybe 1 or 2. So you being in the shot makes a difference, right? What's the future there?
I don't necessarily think that that's actually it, because there are those that may not really be what you would consider to be a super attractive person, but then they have that in-depth beauty. They have the bone structure. They have the features that actually would come out on camera. You know what I mean? So when you say that it's not necessarily so much for everyone, it all depends on basically what that person or that particular person is actually looking for. You know what I mean? Because but I will agree with the time aspect that you talk about, because you have to put the time into it. You have to be able to But
in your case, you actually got a cover. You didn't put any work into this. You didn't put anything. You just had the beauty. You walked and they saw you and they picked you for that cover.
That was
someone else would put years of modeling practice, lessons, and this and maybe alterations, face, and they still can get the cover of magazine. So how that fair? Like, it's not fair, right?
You know, I again don't position myself so much to say that I have to be in this modeling industry. Again, it does come at me, but there are those that do actually, in a sense, go out with a high drive to pursuing it and then still not necessarily get what they want, what they desire. And I believe that's what you're saying. But I really don't know if, other than it being on a deeper level of it being spiritual, of something that's already in me, and a guide that basically takes me to what it is that I actually have within myself. Almost like a law of attraction. If it's in you, it's going to come at you. I feel like the things that are occurring for me is an effortlessness thing about it. Like, I feel if it's something that's there already rooted within my spirit, seeds planted from years ago take shape and root, and somehow I get on the path.
You had your arrogance there.
Well, no? I mean, I don't think that I did, though. Like, that's the thing. I don't think that I had humble.
That. Like, what's made it?
Because I think now being a part of the modeling industry has helped me to develop the confidence, but I didn't have that before.
Some girls would do it out of nobility, out of the questions of honor, and some girls would do it just for the money aspect.
For me, it would be more in the sense of the self-confidence. I like how I feel. I like what makeup does. I like what clothes how it makes me feel. And I also love the networking part of it, because I get to meet great people like you. So that part of it is awesome. So, there are other facets that you could actually get into the industry for. You know what I mean? And then you barter services also too. So it's not even about so much as the pay as it would be about, like, in a sense, if you're trying to build your portfolio, that you can have, like, where you do a shoot for them or a runway show for a designer or someone, and they would actually give you pictures, or some sort, and helping you to build your portfolio, because that can cost a lot of money, trying to get all those pictures and things together, run into thousands, and doing that. So I have been very, very fortunate in that way. And then you could also get garments and clothing, in exchange for pay. So there's other ways in which you could actually, be compensated. So it's not always about monetary, gain from that. But for me, the biggest thing I would have to say is that I'm gaining from it would be the self-confidence. I don't believe that has always been there for me.
It's usually to advance a particular cause. It's I find it's more nowadays, rather than the miss. It's more like Mrs. It's grandma. It's when a lady owns a major corporation or is a head of the, let's say, a big real estate developer or someone who has in a position of power. And she is using that ability, that's platform just to advance her cause, her business, her brand.
I like
so
that.
That's and it's brought with the whole family. Like it's if you see the Indian pageants or the Pakistani, like in Middle East, it's mostly more about the family rather than the young girls.
Okay. And I also like it too when I know that there is a cause, and it's a competition, but they may be raising money for it being a worthy cause, like as it being cancer or something. I have considered that, and a lot of the work that I have done has been charity work, and it does, for causes such as cancer, but that when it's like that, I have more of an interest, in doing charity or community work. A
lot of models use their beauty to raise funds for charities. So that's been up your alley. Thank you very much for coming over today.
Thank you for having me.
Maybe the audience will have more questions for you.
Okay.
Maybe you can come back.
Yes, sir.
Stick if you have time for our designers are coming in. Okay. So we'll have some more professional makeup and hair for you. And all those bags have dresses. So we will have a shoot later on. So hopefully we'll see you in a variety of design dresses.
Awesome, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor to have Zev here with us in studio. Mr. Great couldn't come today, so I'm doing the interviews as MC for her. As you can see, some of my photography and video equipment is here. Zev happened to be a blogger, and we will find out firsthand from him what it takes to be a blogger, how to make money as a blogger, what it's all about. Zev, can you tell us a little bit about you and what you do?
Absolutely. So I'm pretty new to blogging. I initially launched in June of this year, and what I basically wanted was to have a space where I can share my personal thoughts and writings and points of view on how much I love life, people, to do human interest pieces that would be meaningful to people. And I also wanted to share reviews or how much I enjoyed film, theater, music, art, and then also within that to be able to provide exposure to local artists in the New York City area and region.
How do you plan to monetize and make money in blogging?
Okay, so I had done a lot of research before I actually started. So I'm actually at the point of starting to monetize right now. So the main way that people make money blogging is through ad sales. So what is highly recommended is that you have at least a steady stream of about 250 unique page views per day before you start monetizing.
And how do you reach that number of views?
Okay, so for me personally, based on the research I did, the strategy I utilized was to have social media accounts that were tied to the blog, and the blog is thezebraworks.com. And what I did is I created social media accounts on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram that were tied to the blog. So every time I posted something new, I shared to social media, both the social media accounts that are tied to the ZebraWorks, as well as my personal social media accounts. And I just tried to make sure that I created good content that people would enjoy and come back to see what else I'm writing about, what else I'm interested in. And I think the most important thing is to have good content.
How do you make a good content? What is substitute? Do you need education or experience in what you're writing about?
Yes, I think the primary thing is to be passionate about whatever your topic is and to love what you do. So for me, this obviously it's a bit broad, my mission for the blog, but I genuinely do love life. I've been a lifelong optimist, so I always see the glasses half full, and with that perspective is the way I meet people, introduce myself to people, get to know them, ask them about their work and their artistry in their individual field. And so I just figure I'd always reach out to subjects that I'm interested in learning more about, or people whose work I enjoy, in hopes of giving them greater exposure so that other people can discover their work.
How do you get known? Like, what do you do? Do you do maybe SEO, maybe spending money? Like,
yes. So I've done, for the initial time frame, for the first 3 months, I've done paid advertisements on Facebook with Google Ads, and a few minor ones are recently on Twitter, but primarily Google and Facebook
Did it
ads.
work for you? I don't.
Yes.
For me, it's very little return.
It is. No, it has worked. And what I have learned is I have gotten better. In the beginning, I think I was a little bit green about what it takes to have a successful promotion.
In advance and then just post it in a particular time, or you just go like try this, it works, and then you move to something else?
No, I don't use that approach. My initial approach is to write about someone or something I love and care deeply about, and then I worry about marketing and promoting
Right.
afterward.
You love today, maybe tomorrow not so much, or maybe you love tomorrow something else. So you can, let's say for me, if when I write, right, I go on an island, we go on vacation, and then I just have nothing to do. So I write daily publication.
Correct. No, my goal has been to, and again, I have a regular 9 to 5 job in addition to the blog. So
What do you do?
time is of the essence. I'm a production manager at a small cosmetics company startup.
Nice.
But I
What's
have.
that mean?
Oh, well, basically, I do a lot of purchasing, production planning, oversee assembly schedules. So I interact with a lot of people in a supply chain function for cosmetics.
Okay. Don't you think this would be something that beautiful and interesting subject for the blog? People want to be a production manager. A lot of people want to be in the cosmetic industry. Those things that you do, a lot of kids out of college, they dream to have your job and to be in that kind of production. They would love to look inside to the industry, how to...
Well, I had never even considered it, and now that you've said it, I will consider it for the future, because for me, it just, that kind of a thing didn't fall into the realm of my mission for the blog. But there's no reason that I couldn't write something about it
It's life.
to help people.
A lot of folks who want to be in the fashion industry or cosmetic industry or whatever,
That's true.
and they want to have those gigs, and they have no idea how the real world works. The college or the doesn't get them prepared for what you do on daily basis. For you, it's just day job. For them, that's a dream job.
Right. And actually, before my current position, I was actually at L'Oreal. And because it's a much bigger machine and a bigger company, I actually often became a mentor figure to a lot of the young people who did start at the company straight out of college. Because even with a college education, even having an entry and landing a gig at a big cosmetics company, there is a lot.
Just the brand itself
that as a young person,
them,
right?
They just want to work for the brand. They don't care even if they're cleaning there, as long as it's.
But there's a lot to learn, and they need to learn about business and etiquette and their own career trajectories and how to get where they want to get.
It makes sense. Okay.
Yes.
So that's what your blog is about. Now
Yes.
I got it.
I'm glad you got it.
Hopefully the audience can follow the
I sure hope so.
ideas. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have more questions for our guest, you're welcome to write us, email. Hopefully you decide to come back again.
Oh, absolutely. If you'll have me, I'll absolutely
answer,
come back again.
More questions, and we'll be glad to have you.
Great. And make sure you visit thezebraworks.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have seen the pictures, you have seen the video, and I guess by now you know that all those beautiful ladies been dressed by Michelle. So all this work is her creation, and probably what you're wearing now also you design.
Yes.
Can you explain why do you design? Why are you a designer?
I am a designer because ever since I was a little girl, this has been something that's been in me. My first clients were when I was 6 years old.
How do you make money as a designer? A lot of people want to be a designer. Can you actually make money out of that?
You can actually make money because there are a lot of people out there who want things special. A lot of my clients come to me because they they have an event that they are going to and they don't want to look like everyone else. So they come to me because I
How do you
specialize in
build
that.
those clientele? If you have a substantial, let's say 20, 30, maybe 300 or whatever number of clients who pay you, that's all you need for, to sustain a particular lifestyle. How do you build that numbers?
A lot of my clients are word of mouth.
They come as just
referrals. Yes, they'll go to an event and someone will fall in love with their piece that I've helped them create, and that's exactly how it happens.
How do you price the fashion? Is it by hour? Is it by the name? Like where the pricing comes from?
It's a combination. It's the time and effort that goes into it, along with the design. That's a big aspect.
It might take you a minute or two, and very simple, and it could be genius, and you should charge a lot more money, and you can put a lot of time, and you create a crappy stuff that no one buys it. Like, how's that relevant? Someone who is very talented can spend a couple of minutes and create an amazing piece, and someone who doesn't have much talent might, spend months and months doing something, and it's still not amazing.
Right, that is true. And so when it comes to that, I have ready to wear and I have made to order.
Okay.
So it satisfies both those needs, yes.
The collection that we have seen today and viewers can see on their screen right now, is that like something that inspires you, or this is like where those thoughts came from?
Those are pieces that are my own pieces from me that I decided I want to share with everyone else. The collection is called Shell, She by Shell, and that's a spin-off of my name. The beach is my favorite place to be, and I said, why not show everybody how I would be at the beach, going out at nighttime, or just lounging.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, one and only Michelle, thank you for coming. Maybe you have questions for Michelle about being a designer, how to purchase her pieces.
It is Mr. and Mrs. M at Wix.com.
Maybe a Facebook page?
Style Lab 323 at Facebook or Instagram.
Okay, Facebook or Instagram, or just read the subtitles, and that way you're not gonna make a mistake. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the presence of a very beautiful lady who is an actress and a little bit model, but mostly actress, and who've been doing this for quite a while. This is Julie and Michelle, right? Let's see why you became union, why it's helpful, and you have a manager, why that helps you.
Yeah, these are great questions. Thank you for having me, by the way. It's great to be here. And I became union at a very young age. But I think that there are a lot of great benefits to being union. You're offered a lot of protection, and you have people advocating for you.
A lot of people pay union dues and never get any gigs. So
it's not a guarantee of getting gigs.
It's not a guarantee.
No, but it's good to be a member, I think, because it offers you protection, and you're part of an organization that's going to advocate for you and make sure that the working conditions are favorable, and that you're getting what you deserve, and they're going to fight for you if anything is not going well. So I think definitely it's a benefit.
Do you ever miss that you can do all those things outside of union?
Yeah, that is a really good question, because again, I started at a very young age being a union member, so I never really was in that position to see both sides. But I've definitely have colleagues who have said to me, "Oh, it's great. You have great opportunities to work out of the union." So it's interesting.
As far as having a manager, let's say nowadays the world is changing, and many jobs like casting directors nowadays, if they still exist, they still exist in much smaller numbers, because let's say Instagram changed the game, and a lot of people look just at numbers. How having a manager helps you?
I think regardless of Instagram has certainly changed the playing field, but definitely I think it's great to have someone advocating for you, a manager, an agent, negotiating for you, making sure that you are protected. There's a lot of people out there.
Losing so much. Let's say manager takes a cut, 10, 20, whatever percentage. Don't you think that you have the guts and power to do it yourself and not to give away a portion of your earnings? Because unless you're basically the one who produce, and the manager just takes part of it. So don't you think?
I guess it depends on what kind of actor you are. With me, I don't like to negotiate for myself, but I guess it depends on.
So is it stronger when someone else negotiates for you?
I think I honestly think it makes a difference. I'd rather have someone else advocating for me and negotiating for me than myself.
Let's look at the actor career. Some actors, especially young ladies, have very short career. The people will have one particular role until a particular age, and then you in a different age bracket, and they look at something else. So sometimes the time is an essence, and it's very short lifespan. How that affects the actor's life?
Probably the choices they make and the roles that they take. It is. There's so many factors that would influence someone's popularity, but and opportunities, of course, and timing means a lot. But I just think if someone has the opportunity to choose roles that give them some versatility, that give them opportunities to explore, different characters. I think that's great for someone's career versus being typecast.
Let's talk a little bit about money aspect of some actors who are very famous get paid a lot of money. Some actors are struggling. What distinguishes where you are in that ladder? How do you climb?
I have a long way to go. I have a lot of, but, as you mentioned, Instagram has definitely been a new factor in determining someone's popularity. Even I notice it when I go places, people ask, "Oh, how many followers do you have on Instagram?" And it's amazing how much that has changed the playing field.
One and only Julian Michelle. Here. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is MC Photo, and we have here Irina, who is a real estate agent. As you can see, those are our cameras, and Mr. Great is absent today, so MC Photo will fill in. Okay? Irina is the real estate agent in the city. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I work for Striblin & Associates. Our office is in Chelsea, and I sell residential real estate. Nice.
Irina, do you have any interesting stories about real estate? Like when people sell real estate, it's three options. Mm-hmm. Option one, you need to be a storyteller, right? You need to tell a story about the property, and people fall in love with this property and they buy it, right? The other option is to be a good listener. Let's say I don't speak much English. I have a heavy accent. I have barely, know all the words in English. I still not the native speaker, and Shakespeare language is not my first language. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I just listen, and a real estate agent could be just a good listener. If you listen to people and hear what they want to say, you'll just sell to them, right?
Yeah, definitely you need to be a good listener.
And maybe the third way could be just do your own thing and be yourself, and just sell what you can sell, and I guess maybe then people buy from you. How do you sell? What's your secret?
I think one of the most important things is just to make your buyers or clients be yourself and just tell you exactly what they think. Not, if they don't like it, if they don't like the apartment, they need to feel comfortable with you and just say,
but how do you know you like this apartment or not? Do you bring them in the morning when it's a good light? Do you spray perfume before they walk in?
Well, it depends.
So
if
it smells better?
Right. Well, sometimes it can be a deal breaker if, apartment smells bad. So one time I had a story. We were on the way to the apartment with my buyer, and we were talking about having pets and animals. And he says, "Between me and you, I hate cats." And we come into apartment, and the other agent was asking us if he has allergy to cats, because the owner has 2 cats. And he was like, "Okay, I don't have allergies, so it's gonna be okay." So we walking into the apartment, and it was one cat jumping after another. It was not 2 cats. It was much more than 2 cats, like much more cats than 2. And then he had statues of cats, like literally this big. He had pillows with cats pictures on it, and the owner was there too. So on top of that, apartment was a little overpriced. So we weren't even thinking that the cats were included in the price.
So how do you work around this? Do you prop them, tell them that the smell could go away, or how do you address those issues?
Well, if there is a good value in the apartment, you have to stress.
But how do you know what's a good value?
It's all about the numbers. You just evaluate the numbers and you see if numbers make sense. You compare. You do.
Where do you compare?
Analysis.
Do you go to Zillow? How do you know which numbers to trust? Do I trust your numbers as a real estate agent, or my lawyer, or my friends? Like, how do what's
you
the
just
numbers?
have? I do my due diligence and I present the facts. I don't make up anything. I don't just say, "Oh, I think this is a good deal." I always show this is what was sold in the building. This apartments were renovated, or similar renovation. This is what was sold in the building that are comparable to this. Same amenities, same location. So you just give them the data, and the number speaks for them for you.
How do you know what's the great deal? Let's say the new property just come out on the market, right? And it could sold right away, or it can be maybe for 3 years on the market.
Right.
How do you know there is no hidden agenda, any issues? You need to make a decision fast. If it's the right thing, you should move fast. Otherwise, it will be gone. And it's a lot of money, right? It's a big deal. You show your best clients, or it might be something fishy about it. How do you know?
You just do the research about the building, about the apartment, the previous owners, how much they bought it for, how much.
I'm wealthy. I have money. I don't have time to do the research.
That's why you have the real estate.
How do I trust you, as a buyer? Which real estate agent trust and which not? How do I know your research is not biased? You just want your commission,
right.
So
that's
you have the agency problems. You always want to make a sale, right?
Well, now it's a lot of data is available online, so you can go online and check everything that I present to you. But you need a real estate agent as a resource.
Is there a legitimate third-party source to check on your real estate agents? Because when people buy on Amazon, right, they check the reviews, right? When people buy from, let's say, a lawyer or from someone licensed, you can check if they have any marks on list. Is there a legitimate way to verify if this real estate agent is, dealing with the proper ways? So you look at the Yelp, or how do you know?
Some websites present
referrals.
I guess referrals is always the best way, and you look at the agents past sold and deals that they have done. There is no official way to check it. You can always check if he has a license.
For example, for me, sometimes I want someone who is a rookie, brand new to the game. They have plenty of energy, they have plenty of time, and they are willing to work for the fraction of commission.
Right.
Someone who is really, really experienced, they want a major commission, they want a top dollar, they want to put as little as possible time into the client, and they want to get the maximum amount. How do you know, you get the rookie, you get the professional, but on the other side, the new folks, they have no idea what they're doing. So they can waste all their personal time and my time, and nothing will take place. I'd rather sometimes deal with a professional who will give me very little of their time and will be right to the point, but they have a feel and a smell what's right, what's working, what's not. So sometimes you have to go for professional.
Right.
Know?
Well, it's also about building the relationship, and if you feel that trust from the person, from the rookie, and as you said, sometimes they go above and beyond just to prove themselves, and this is their chance to show, to do all the right thing and to do all the due diligence for you as a client. So it could be a good thing to give them a chance. There's no official way, it's just how your relationship with the person, and see if you trust them or not.
But how, do you come on time? Let's say my agent, do I measure by, okay, they come on appointment on time, or they answer my phone calls? What are the traits we can tell to the viewers to find the right agent?
Right. So what I've just heard from my buyer, she said that most of the agents just show you one apartment and they don't want to, do anything else. They just want something easy. Mm-hmm. And if they see that you're going an extra mile for them and not just pushing them anything showing them as many apartments as they want to see.
So pushing is not good.
No, it's not good. I mean,
what about the female-male interaction? Let's say you as a female, beautiful agent, a lady, do you feel that you're getting more phone calls returned, more jobs done because you're just pleasant to be around, or people just think that the guy knows what's real numbers? She's a girl, she wouldn't find a great deal. Do you see the?
Well, it could be a good thing and it could be a bad thing. Yes, sometimes the male clients would just approach me, I think, without even knowing me, let's say through LinkedIn or other social networks, and they want to see an apartment, and then...
How do you know when it's they playing you just for the date and when it's actually an appointment?
Oh, it's so hard to tell. I think, I had a story like that once, and the guy kept asking me about when we can go for dinner, what kind of food you like, and at the end I got really suspicious because he was talking about dinner more than talking. He was asking me more questions about dinner than about an apartment. So I said, let's just let me send you more things first, and then we'll...
I see. So there is a traits when this. Okay.
I guess.
If you have more questions for this nice real estate agent who is, I think, quite knowledgeable, you can write to us an email, and hopefully Irina will show up again. Maybe you have interest in her services. That would be on a teleprompter, and you can see ways to reach out to Irina.
Thank you, Alex.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is MC Photo, and today we have one of our models, Nilu. She came all the way from South Africa.
Yes.
And let's hear what kind of credibility things you have to your name. What makes you a model?
Okay, what makes me a model, first of all, I don't want to lie. I won't say I started doing modeling at the age of 5. I just started doing modeling this year, early January. As an immigrant, a lot of people know that it's very difficult to get a job. Mm-hmm. So I decided I was at home. I have a 5-year-old son. So I was at home and taking care of him, and I thought, let me just go on the internet and do some research to find something to do, because staying home is boring. Right. So I went to modeling agencies. I did some few research on that, and what happened is I got a call from a modeling agency. I went to it, but then sadly enough, it doesn't help with anything. So they made us pay a lot of money.
That's a scam.
They keep on making us pay till today.
Guys, don't do it. If at the minute they tell you you need the money to pay for the portfolio and that stuff, there is plenty of photographers now who will pay you for that, not the other way around.
So I heard from a friend that there's a website again that's called Model Mayhem. So I went to that website, put my pictures there, and that's when I started to get calls and paid gigs. Nice. Until today, that goes very well for me. Mm-hmm. And Yes, so I've been doing this for a year and I'm loving it.
Nice.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a couple of questions. We kind of discussed what poses and facial expressions works for you. What do you think?
Okay, as
A commercial model? Like,
for me, I am a lingerie. I'm a nude. I'm an artistic. I don't do runway because I'm short. So I would say, based on what I'm wearing, that's where my expressions come from and how I feel like. I had a shoot a couple of weeks ago and it was a lingerie nude shoot. And when I looked at my pictures, I was going through a time where me and my mom were fighting. Things were not going well.
How's your mom taking that you're doing nude?
Well, she doesn't know that I don't do nude modeling.
Okay.
But she knows that I do lingerie modeling.
Okay.
So in that shoot, I looked at my pictures and I can see the pain that I'm going through. And so when you do a photo shoot, it's what you feel, it's expressions, it's your feelings, it's what you're thinking. It's not just standing in front of a camera and smiling. It takes a lot of measures of home. It's not like bring your personal business to work, but then it joins
when you
in
talk with the photographer, do you need constant contact, or you need direction, or you like to be live alone to do your own thing? Like, how do you interact? What's the best way?
Usually, photographers will tell me like once or twice, okay, pose like this, pose like that. Once I'm used to the photographer working together, then I become comfortable and I just do whatever I feel like doing, and they love it.
Okay.
Yes.
What do you think are the advantages of being a model?
The advantages are taking good care of yourself, because you need to good health, keep your skin very beautiful. Like right now I don't have any makeup on, just have lipstick on, so you need to keep your skin very beautiful. You need to keep your body in a perfect shape. You don't have to go to the gym all the time. I don't go to the gym all the time, but
does it help you to build self-confidence?
Yes, it helps you to build self-esteem, self-confidence, interact with people
your
more.
son will grow up and his mom, he might find out one day that his mom did some modeling, like Hugh Hefner passed away yesterday. Do you think the world is changing and there is more acceptance for the respect for the female body and for the models?
I think I don't know.
There is still more prejudice?
Yes, because for instance, male models can take pictures and they just wearing their underwears. So I don't think it's bad enough for women. If you feel comfortable in your body, then wear it as you would wear any attire. Wear it as you're wearing a dress, as long as you feel comfortable in your skin.
What's the key, like, when you decide to shoot with a photographer, that, to make sure that someone will not rape you or will offend you? Like, how do you look for the key questions, what they say on Model Mayhem, not to get in any scams?
Okay, what I look for, I go to their portfolio, their profile. I look for their credibility.
What if it's a fake profile? What if it's those pictures from someone else? What if it's all scam? How do you know?
That's a good question. I would say.
What are the advice that you can give to other young girls who facing the same issues?
I would say if a photographer keeps on calling you all the time, calling you constantly, it shows that desperation and they want to use you for something. If you call just once or email, the best advice is never give out your number the second time you interact with a photographer. Either email or stick to Model Mayhem.
But when we spoke, at some point you gave me a number. What makes you trust me or not trust me? Like, what's the, like, how did you decide that you want to interview with me?
Okay, I think with me it's faith. I have a lot of faith.
What gives you faith? Like, you don't know me. It's the first thing. 10 minutes ago, you haven't met me before. Like, what's made you trust me? Look at my profile. What's the location, the space.
Yes, the location is very important.
Profession.
The location is very important. Where the way it's based, where the photo shoot is based, that is important. When I come
they
here,
take you like a abandoned building, you don't know anywhere.
That's dangerous.
You don't know where they're gonna take you, and it's you need an escort, you need some help behind it. Okay. What is the future for you as a model? Like, what do you think? Are you married?
No, not married.
You're not married. So let's say, in my experience, some of the models that I worked in the past, and they came off the boat, like whether from Russia, Ukraine, or South Africa, years ago. Nowadays, I see them either dating or marrying or have kids with a really, really wealthy, not just millionaires, I'm talking about billionaires. And I found the way to the working with the really wealthy families in my day job through many friends of models like you. At some point, you're young and beautiful. You meet someone who is extremely wealthy, who can afford a beautiful wife, and who, once you marry and once the guy trusts you, you control basically the finance, the money, especially if you have a couple of kids together. And that's kind of some of the girls I see, they are now head of the household. The guy is maybe 50, 60, 70 years old, and the younger, beautiful wife, and at some point that wife inherits all the money and all the control. Do you see that this is the common path for the models?
I would say that's true, because you are not the first person to tell me that. In fact, I've heard that from a friend of mine. He asked me a similar question to that. And if that happens with me, I told myself one thing: I want to go back to school and study further. I don't want to base my life only depending on money. At least have a stability where you know that once I've studied this, I can find a job and have this as my income.
Well, for me, I happen to be wealthy, and money, and it's easy to make money, so I always can make more. I think the art part is more interesting and important than if you have the beauty, the money wouldn't buy it. Look, no matter how much plastic surgery you do, if you don't have the original beauty, it's not there. So it's only what God gives you.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, guys, if you would like to see more of Nelus here with us at the show, perhaps you can write us an email, and hopefully you have some answers for us next time.
Yes.
Hopefully it was helpful for you guys.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman is Howard, my guest today. I am MC Photo. I'm filling in today for Mr. Great. He's not in today. Today is Yom Kippur, but hopefully we would be able to still record with some of our cameras a nice show. Howard, tell us a little bit about who you are, what do you do?
I'm a global ambassador for several technology companies and brands.
Like solar?
Like the new solar technology and
tell us a little bit about
turbines and also security technology.
What means a global ambassador? That's a very vague kind of message.
I bring everyone together from around the world to make a better world in our own little way. So. But
that's just the words, language. What exactly do you do? How does it work?
I bring the scientists, the financiers, the investors.
Why do they trust you? Why the scientists, investors, why they deal with you?
Because they know I'm a good, reliable, honest person.
How do they know?
I have a track record that I've developed success with other companies.
Okay. So people look you up, and those are probably reliable sources, and that's how they know that this is a legit person and who capable to bring the proper team together, correct? Okay, tell us a little bit about the future of the solar business. What's taking place there?
Well, I happened to meet the father of the solar industry worldwide, who's Dr. Kiss. He went back to Hungary now after 50 years in New Jersey. And he's the first one to put solar panels on the White House in Washington, D.C. under President Carter.
Wow.
So President Reagan came along, took him off, and China came calling. So he went to China and created the Chinese solar revolution.
That's the past. I'm asking what's the future, 20 years from now.
The future now is he didn't like what Tesla's doing, so he wants to leave a legacy. So he's creating better solar energy panels.
I like Tesla. I think Tesla is pretty awesome. At least I like the website, the way it's set up. I own quite a bit of shares.
So it's good
I made some money, so I'm happy. I'm planning to get maybe a nice car. I'm driving a nice car now, but maybe Tesla will be my next one.
The car is good, but we will have, I believe, the best solar on the planet.
Okay. Why is that?
It'll produce more energy output, but we have a battery storage system the size of a refrigerator that'll store the energy for 6 months.
Wow.
No one has that in the world. Plus now we have, it'll create a natural type gas that'll pump back into the building to heat the home or building and heat the stove for cooking. So it's a complete system.
How's that changing the world? Do you think the future holds a bright future for the solar?
Yes, they're saying the solar is the future crude oil.
Okay.
The solar is the new crude.
And who do you think wins this race? Us or maybe Europe, China? Do you think we have an upper hand here?
Time will tell, but we have a good upper hand with smart people.
Okay. What's your involvement? What do you think? What's your age? Why are you winning?
Because we're specializing in microgrid, where you can be your own self-sustainable power station, and you don't have to connect to the grid system. Because if someone hacks and knocks it down, you're still up and running.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about your security business.
So this is very exciting. So we have the world's safest non-lethal laser weapon. So Star Wars is here. It looks like a Glock 9, and it shoots a green laser beam light the size of a basketball that covers your whole face and can hit a mile away the target.
Wow.
So it can stop riots or kidnappers or any situation, but no one gets killed, right? And the police or military can take them down. So it'll save lives on both sides.
Interesting. Those are probably expensive things to bring to life.
It'll probably be a few thousand a piece.
How much costs to buy that kind of product, to develop it? What kind of investment types are you looking at?
We're looking at least like 25 million, so
wow.
To start. But this is, I believe, a Microsoft, Google type company in the making with many other exciting products.
How do you approach the investors on the subject?
We tell them you want to be involved in an exciting technology that's on solid ground and has solid worldwide demand where everyone wants it yesterday.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have more questions for Howard, perhaps you can write us an email. Hopefully Howard will come back and answer your questions. Thank you, Howard, for coming in. Друзья, есть еще небольшой момент, который Владимир хочет с вами поделиться. Владимир хочет открыть музей с работами его дяди, и у нас есть немножко информации для вас.
У мене помер дядя і залишив мені в спадок більше 300 картин. Я не можу його залишити, цей спадок, без того, щоб люди з ним могли бачити його творчість, його натхнену творчість, в якій він показав, як він любить свою Україну. Він дуже була визначна людина. Він був членом спілки художників, працював старшим научним працівником в Києві, в виставкомі. Він такий патріот був, так уболівав за Україну.
Хотите собрать деньги на музей?
Я не в змозі зібрати суму, я хочу йому зробити індивідуальний музей.
И у вас есть номер счета в Банк of America, это номер счета 483071 208416. Там, значит, на этом счете Банк Америка по рауте номер 1, 2, Sorry, 021 000 322. И имя это Володимир Скрипник. Это ваш счет, правильно?
Скрипник.
Скрипник. Володимир Скрипник. Если у вас есть желание помочь, то вот номер счета. И давайте я покажу. Can you zoom in?
Пару слов добавить можно, да?
Говори,
да.
Пока он...
Да, я обещаю, что каждый доллар пойдет на музей. Значит, моего дядю звали Лисенко Іван Павлович. Щоб ви знали. І я думаю, що я всіх бажаючих із Америки буду запрошувати в музей, коли я його відкрию.
Скажите, вот вы играете в метро. Много подают денег? Мало подают денег? Как это все работает?
Та ні, не дуже. Я хотів би
утром дають більше, вечором дають більше, як це все?
Ні, тут якось не дуже прийнято. У нас в Україні
більше дають.
Дають більше, ну цінність цих грошей дуже мала.
Ага, понятно. Більше людей дають, але менше денег дають. Здесь менше людей, але більше сум.
Американці якісь дуже стримані в цьому питанні.
Вот скажем, до 50 центов дают, доллар дают, 100 долларов дают.
Ні, ну більше всього, що долар.
Не больше доллара дают?
Да, доллар. Ну, бывает 5-10 дают, да.
А когда лучше дают, утром или вечером? Днем? На выходные, в будні дні?
Якось трудно сказати. Воно залежить від того, як...
Під праздник, погода плохая.
Під праздник, під настрій, якщо...
Хорошая погода більше дають, да?
Хороша погода. І погода теж, да. Погода теж.
Понятно. Thank you, guys.